Welcome back, everybody. The 2020 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. I am Kevin Jones, and next to me is my good buddy, Luke Humphreys. Luke, what's up?
Man, just watching these young Europeans shred. It's been a pleasure so far. Hope they're doing the same on the back nine.
Yeah, I hope so. The back nine is extremely scoreable. Every hole is going to be birdieable, just like the front, but really, these holes are absolutely gettable, and we're expecting a birdie on almost every one of them. So we've got a couple guys sitting at 6 down. I really hope to see them break that 10 down mark. Here's your leaderboard. We got a couple really good scores right now. Everybody is playing really good. We have a little bit more wind today than we did in round 1, but still the players are making work of it. Nothing too crazy. Luke, what are you expecting on this back nine?
Starting on hole 10, they're going to be looking to get birdies. Every one of these holes is playing under par on the back nine. Even though the wind is up today, that's still the case. So I think you just put your nose down and grind these out. We all know how to get them. This is a flick hole here, 332 uphill, and I expect to see most of the guys do it.
Yeah, anybody who can grind through, just like you said, no matter what their score is coming to this hole, you could get 9 birdies in a row and turn it around. This hole, if you have a sidearm like Eric does, I'm telling you, this hole plays much easier than if you try to shape in a backhand. Would you agree with that?
Totally. That backhand brings in long, brings in right, it even brings in the right OB. That is a mid-range out of Kale.
Oh, man.
His MX3 that he loves so much, and that was an enforcer out of Eric.
Cool. So if you're throwing a mid-range, I think that also that can help it a lot too.
Yeah, minimize the distances right and left that you're going. And Kale's so good with his mid-ranges that it's just a play for him. You'll see forehand from the rest of the guys.
Yeah, if you got a strong enough forehand, you can really make this hole look really easy. There's not going to be much skip, though. You kind of want to land it right at the base, ideally.
Yeah, you're right. This is one of the greenest holes on the course. In years past, there's been a basket real close to where Ascari's standing, and this one's just slightly changed from years past. That was kind of uncharacteristic from what we've seen from Ascari so far.
Yeah, true that. But not of Oyvind.
No. He's been doing that the whole round. Another great putt outside the circle for Oyvind.
Yeah, count it. 34 feet, high center, no problem. He's going to keep rolling.
As will Eric. Interesting stat on Oyvind. UDisc only has stats from the European Open on him, but he putted 90% in the European Open from Circle 1 and 40% from Circle 2. To give you perspective, those would be the number 1 ranks in Circle 2 and Circle 1 proficiency on the Pro Tour.
Oh, wow.
If he could keep that up. He just had one stat, but it's really cool to watch. And he got 18th at the European Open.
Wow.
So he loves the big stage.
Yeah, that's a really, really good stat to look at. We have a couple good putts also following him. Eric Oakley going to be making his and Kale making his. That makes 3 birdies on the hole, I believe.
Yep. You like to get that one, but Ascari will have to work on 11.
That's right. 11 is the hole in between the 2 trees, I like to say. There are 2 trees right next to this basket that can make your putt a little bit difficult if you land in the wrong spot. Good spots to be are short left and long right.
Yep. Those trees will for sure hinder your putt if you are in between. Eric going to his enforcer again, looking for him to hang it out left and skip up the hill.
This is a pretty big sidearm.
It's a little lefter than I was talking about, but if you miss that tree, it's just fine.
Ooh, is that long left?
Uh-oh.
It is.
Uh-oh. You guys saw it. There's going to be some basket missing on that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky putt at least. And Kale,
It's a mid-range.
Tell me that wasn't. Please, no.
Yeah, the same mid-range he threw on the last hole. He just threw again.
Holy moly. MX3 all the way, 368 on this hole. I think it plays a little bit longer, honestly.
I think you're right, and I think I need to get me one of those MX3s.
For sure. They're really good flyers. Fly really straight and hold the line for a long time. Oyvind is going to take an unfortunate roll, but also maybe a good roll considering the look at the basket.
Yeah, you could be right. And the way he's putting, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, no doubt. He hasn't really had many park jobs on the day.
This I don't know.
I think that's a better result than if he stayed up short right.
Okay. Yeah, still left him a tricky putt.
Yeah.
That's a miss for him. He's got the forehand for this hole for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's 2 in a row that he's missed. Stop. Okay. All right.
And finally, Oyvind is a little bit off on his putt. If you watched part 1, he didn't really miss anything.
Yeah. He's human. He's got to miss at some point. He showed us he's human.
Yeah, Eric Oakley dealing with one of the 2 trees next to the basket, just in a slightly awkward spot, and that is going to cost him a stroke, I think.
So the 3 guys that played the forehand, which we said is the play, all take par, and Cale throws a mid-range and takes a birdie.
Interesting. So maybe that tells you that mid-range is the play here, if you got it.
That's crazy. This hole had a 35% birdie click. Only 16% of people converted their circle 2 look on that hole. Interesting. I think that has to do with the trees being so close.
Yes, I think that's a really interesting stat also. Really tells you how much those trees come into play here.
Yeah.
Hole 12, this is the hole that you have 3 basic options. You can either go straight at it, which you see the least. You can go just a little bit to the right, or you can go way to the right. Cale opting for a little bit to the right.
Looks good at it. See if he gets that downhill skip. It does.
Man, and he landed it in the perfect spot. It is so important that you get over that little hump there. Otherwise, you're looking at like a 60-footer, but Cale weighted that perfectly.
Yeah, that was a 400 PA3 out of Cale. Well done. That is a felon out of Eric, just outside the circle, but I think that's the putt you'd rather have.
Yeah, it's not bad. The basket is elevated. I like the high play, though, because it takes the ground play out of it, mostly. And Oyvind hitting just up on that hump, but enough to where he is probably inside the circle, and Oskari is pretty good at hyzers as well, so that's what he's opting for.
Yeah, that's an MD5 out of Oskari. Well done.
Okay, MD5, so overstable mid, and he hit the hump in the perfect spot. He's parked.
Eric, I don't know if he was distracted possibly or just didn't like the putt out of the hand, but he turned around quickly. An unfortunate 3-putt from Eric.
And that hurts. But that is the elevated basket coming into play.
Yep, you really think it is. The guy putts last year at an 85% Circle 1 percentage, making him the 10th best Circle 1 putter on the Pro Tour.
Jeez, that is so crazy. That's a really, really good number.
Yep. Oyvind drills it.
Yep, thanks for coming, Oyvind.
Interestingly enough, though, Eric putts 19% from Circle 2, which is 66. So he goes from the 10th best at Circle 1 to the 66th best at Circle 2. Just some stats that I'm sure he's aware of and taking steps to improve, and as he always does. I mean, this guy's been improving for years now. It's fun to watch his journey.
Yeah, I agree. He's one that really dissects the game and always works on his weak spots. So that's what you need to be really good in the game. You need to be working at what you're not good at rather than avoiding it.
Yeah. Like I was saying, he got 10th at Worlds. This is Eric Oakley we're speaking about. 9th at the European Open and 5th at the Masters Cup. So he was a top 10 machine in some of the bigger events last year. So kudos to him. Well played. Keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, hole 13 is 268 feet up a hill just a little bit, so it's going to play slightly longer. And this is the hole that we were talking about that is just super hard to park. I don't know why, but I'm actually really curious of the bullseye percentage. If you had that stat, that'd be pretty cool.
A3 out of Cale.
A3 getting really close. Really solid shot from Cale right there.
Yeah. What I do have is that 152 of the 165 players in the field had a Circle 2 look. Almost everybody is getting themselves a Circle 2 look on this. And these guys need to follow along if they're looking to keep pace.
Yeah, that would make sense a lot. The hard thing is just getting it to stop right by the basket. Most discs are definitely going to funnel at least inside circle 2, but here's one park job from Oakley.
Yeah, that same MD5 he threw on the last hole, he's averaging 3 feet from the basket. Fell in out of Eric a little bit faster, so he throws it a little higher, a little wider. And stop. Yes. Well played from him.
Yeah.
Just into the hill, just like you want to bounce it.
Oyvind, I'm calling this one good, but we'll see.
Tricky putt for sure. Drills it. I mean, like I said yesterday, it's artificially elevated, and it's been elevated just in the ground with the ridge. So the thing is 7, 8, close to 10 feet up where he's putting from.
Yeah, when you're where Oyvind is, it's extremely elevated. It's pretty uphill. Good putt from him, and Kale as well, and this is looking like a star frame if Eric executes right here.
Indeed. Show us the way, Eric. And he does it. Putting with his Wardens. Fun to see Ascari playing so good. He got 7th last week at Vegas, so he is just cruising with momentum, keeping it going. What do we got for hole 14, Kev?
Hole 14 is a tricky hole. It's another hyzer, 375 feet, and what's hard about this hole is the undulation in the ground. Really, it's tough to hit the exact spot that you need to, and if you hit too far to left, you could skip OB or even in the water and lose your disc. I've seen happen.
Yep. Kale going with the new FX2, taking it out wide, stable fairway.
Oh my goodness, what a great shot.
Yep. That's the tendency of the ground play to push you from the basket, but that's the right side of the basket to be on. There's such an obstructed view behind it that you almost can't take the chance and go back there. You really have to be in front.
Yeah, if you go long like Oyvind, there's not many great looks from back there.
I mean, he's going to have to thread a tree to hit this putt.
With a ceiling.
Yeah.
Oakley coming up, throwing I was going to say hyzer, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
It's a Glow FD3
That's it.
and a big skip. It looked like he knew it was about to take place right before it did it.
I'm surprised he's attacking this hole as low as he is. You'd think that he would, with his power, he'd want to throw higher, get some less ground action.
Interesting. I wonder if it's just lack of experience on this hole.
Maybe.
That looks like a great shot. The fell in out of Eric again.
Backside.
Get around the tree. Keep going.
That's questionable.
Yeah, we'll see the angle. That's, questionable. Ascari from 40 feet. Drills it.
And that is more like what I'm used to seeing from him. A fearless putt and hyzering it right into the middle. Let's see it again.
Great angle. Yeah, he's got that little hyzer on the putt, but it's almost consistency when you have the little hyzer. You do it every time. You play a little right. It keeps it from being flat and letting the wind move it. It's a way for him to dictate where his putter goes, and he's proficient.
Oh, and Oyvind.
Was that a spit through?
No, not a spit through, I don't believe, but just a little bit right, it looked like. Still surprising when he misses on a day like today.
Yeah. Same with Kale. You don't see it often. Eric to a knee. Gets it to go.
Those knee putts are always a little bit weird.
Yeah, those leaves hang so far down right there. You almost have to skim them as you go by.
Yeah, good for Eric to get it in there, though.
Yeah, 42% birdie rate on this one. And 25 people parked it. Barsby wasn't one of them. He banged a 60-footer on it.
Nice.
Like he does.
Very nice. Hole 15, 426 feet. Big hyzer if you got it. I'm telling you, that makes the hole just a little bit more consistent for you. But if you don't have the arm, you will be flexing inside of the tree and trying to play your flex shot extremely well. So let's see what these guys go for. I'm sure we're going to see a couple big hyzers at least.
Yep. Big hyzer over the tree in the middle. C-line PD2 out of Ascari. so wide, but appropriately wide.
Okay.
Maybe a little long, though.
He might not be able to hyzer in comfortably from there.
Yeah, that's a good point. His natural hyzer putt may need to change. Raider out of Eric. Looks to have turned it just a little bit.
Ooh. And that is extremely obstructed.
Yeah. You almost have to do a little hyzer floaty dyer in the center to hit that putt. That's not the best spot to be.
And hyzer floaty, right?
Yeah, I suppose either. You just have to get around that tree.
Depending which side you're on. Now that was Kale, huh?
Yeah, Kale throwing a D1. He's got the straight putt. I think both of the guys that threw before him would rather have the putt that he's about to have, even though I think they're both closer.
That was a big rip from Oyvind right there.
Yeah, they're all playing it a little wide. Stiletto out of Oyvind. I'm sure all know that this hole is not very skippy. I think that all of them would have liked to have been a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. One of the weird things about this hole is if you land on the left side of the basket, you are going to skip.
Yeah.
So everybody's a little bit afraid of that and trying to play some skip on the right side, but it's pretty Velcro grass there.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Eric, just an obstructed putt.
Yeah, and he did go for the hyzer putt there. Oyvind's got to look at it.
Oh. He was already headed to the basket. It looked good. Just a little left on those Mach X's. Slight push out.
He's had so many, like 33, 34 footers this round.
Yeah. Banged the majority of them for sure.
All right, Oskari, are you going to be able to hyzer this in? No.
No birdies from this feature card, this lead card, chase card. Shout out to Shotwell. Back-to-back 60-footers hit. For real, man. Leave some putts out there for the rest of us.
Very nice, Chris Shotwell.
Yeah, only 9 people parked this hole, but 34% of the field got it. So there's a lot of people throwing the disc long nowadays. I don't think it used to be 34% of the field that could birdie it, but nowadays it's a hyzer for these kids.
That's right. And we are back for the last stretch of holes. I'm sure every one of these guys are trying to go birdie, birdie, birdie to finish, but we're all under different pressures at this point, so it's interesting to see how everybody can handle it.
Yeah, this hole coming in is the easiest hole on the course. Just, you're really needing to get this one. 2/3 of the field, put it inside circle 1. So this is, yeah.
So much more over half the field putting it inside of circle 1 off the tee. That's crazy.
Yeah, that looked wide out of the hand, but there was a right to left wind blowing it back, and that does end up, like pin high based on
That
direction.
is very
A
true.
little long, but yeah, there's a right to left wind, so they're hanging it out a little wider than they would on other days.
That looks really good from Eric.
Yeah, it does. Little long. He's throwing that felon around everywhere. Seems to love it.
Kale, that's a FX2 coming in. And if you don't know what the FX2 is, it's an overstable fairway driver that if you have a bunch of power, you can get it to fly really straight. But if you don't throw it with a ton of power, it's going to play as a pretty overstable but glidey fairway driver. Maybe similar to like a longer Firebird or something. Kale showed it off really well right there again.
Yep, yeah, that's exactly right. Oyvind throwing a dart.
Very nice action right there. Threw it high enough to where there was no skip.
Eric, dead in the center. Circle 1 king.
Yeah, great putt from Eric. He feels good about it.
Yeah.
Practically skips away from the basket.
Wow. That's a lot of pace he's putting on those putts.
Yeah, I did actually. In Vegas, he unfortunately had to handle a couple of spit outs on the baskets. But these ones, these Mach X's, he knows if he hits it on the pole, it's sticking. So I bet he feels really comfortable.
Yeah, coming from a hard-throwing putter like yourself,
Yep.
you prefer these? Or?
It's just nice to know when you hit the pole, they're going to stick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's an all-star out of our chase card.
Hole 17, we are going down the hill, 468 feet. It is a par 3. If you have the distance, you're trying to throw a big sweeping hyzer. Today, I think they're dealing with a slight headwind, maybe slight left to right on top of that, but a lot of head here.
I think they are, especially if the fountain's going. As we mentioned last round, the fountain adds 5 to 10 miles an hour of wind. Crazy enough, it just creates weather based on how much water it's displacing. It's a huge high hyzer out of Oakley. Oh my gosh.
Nice, and playing the wind just beautifully. It's cool to see. He's inside the circle. You can't ask for much more on this hole.
You really can't. Going with a mango enforcer is Eric Oakley. Looks to have put a good move on it.
That disc can take so much torque. What a disc, and how well did he throw it there?
Good grief. Nicely done, Eric. 750 D1 out of Kale, a little bit lower line.
750 plastic, huh?
Yeah, but look at that. Keep going. I was going to say just a veteran move. It probably just needed another foot, and it would have cruised all the way to the basket.
Yeah, it would have got a way bigger skip if it did.
Stiletto out of Oyvind.
Wow, he is smashing the disc.
I saw it happen live in Europe last year for the first time, and I was blown away. I was hoping that he didn't get a plane ticket over here. It looks like he has gotten one. I'm just kidding.
Unfortunately for you, Luke, he is here and whooping some American butt.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, Oyvind. Glad you're here, man. He's got a 45-footer for his birdie, it looks like. I think he's got a clear look, too, from there.
Oh, no way. In your face, Luke.
That was karma coming in. Let's see the rewind, the Gatekeeper rewind.
Oh, standstill, too. Like, no need to jump.
It's just the Fellberg black putter in the heart. Just intimidation factor, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. He's going to become, that's going to be his signature fist pump, too. No, Scotty. I have not seen that from him yet.
No, we hadn't seen it the entire round yet.
No, but it happens.
He may have put himself in a tricky spot there, too.
Yeah, he's going to have to straddle that one. And it's always tough when you have to walk to your missed putt and putt again.
Yeah, you're still up, Rule. Only 11 people parked this hole, which just speaks to the wind, I think. Oh.
So Oakley is struggling with the straddle putt today. I think that's 2 misses that I've seen on this back nine, at least, with the straddle.
Yeah, both of them had the tree a little close. I think both were Annies that he needed to throw, and for a typical hyzer putter, that probably made it a little tough.
That can change the timing quite a bit.
KO tapping in his par. We finally get to Eric's drive.
Nice. Cale has played such a clean round. I don't think he's taken a single bogey. He's just racking up the birdies in certain spots, and that's how you have a solid tournament.
Yeah, he's just in control of his game. You hear that from people like Paul, and Cale's no different. He's got a game plan. He knows his discs. He's just an efficient golfer. That's what we like to see. What about this 18th, Kev?
This is such a cool finishing hole. It makes it much easier, in my opinion, if you have a very powerful sidearm. Today, these guys are dealing with a left to right, kind of maybe a little bit of a tailwind. But really, there's 3 options. You can try to hammer a flat driver backhand and try to just lace it really straight. Or if you have a Eric Oakley power on your sidearm, you're going to hit something. He's going to hit it on a hyzer because he's really strong with that.
Raider getting up close to circle's edge, inside the circle. Excuse me.
Not a bad shot at all. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah, not many people can throw a pure hyzer to this bucket.
And the flat shot is just very delicate. If you saw it off at all, you can take a skip. No way.
Oh, wow.
So that was a really straight disc.
That was a Fortress. I'm not sure what that is, but like
I think the flight numbers on that, I'm probably wrong, but -1 and 3, so it's like a straighter distance driver from what I understand.
Kale probably didn't need that tree kick.
No, but Kale's playing that hole for 3.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
I think you're right.
Oakley is not going to be playing this hole for 3 because he's trying to birdie every hole.
Yeah, and he's just coming off the 3-putt, looking to make a move. Wow.
It looks good, but it needs to be really straight. No, it needs to sit.
That's a C-line FD2. Past the bucket.
Now, that's a disc I'm not entirely sure what flies like. Yeah, I would guess like a T-bird, like overstable fairway. But Kale's laying up for his 3. He's going to finish what I believe is a bogey-free round. Very nice at Fountain.
It's not a new thing for Kale. Bogey-free.
Very true.
The putting woes continue for Oakley.
Man.
Oh, he was reaching for it.
That was a really, really good bid from Eric.
Would have liked to close with a birdie, but a 7 under, even though it's not what he wanted with a start he had, I think he came back nicely. Look for him to make moves. 3rd round at Vista.
Oyvind is staring down a putt that he's had the whole round many times.
Wow. Ends with a turkey. Bangs another nice one to finish. What a great round from Oyvind. That was a blast to watch.
Yeah, he grinded through that so hard. So many he was hardly ever parked.
Yeah.
He was putting so much from circle's edge. So way to fight it out.
Yeah, those are the putts that grind on you. Even if you hit your first few.
Yeah.
By your 5th or 6th or 7th, those things are starting to pile up and the pressure eventually cracks.
Yes.
Now,
man, he just wants off the course right now, and I know that feeling too well.
Yeah, didn't want to throw this many putts in the last 2 holes.
Take a deep breath and jam this home, and you'll be able to shred tomorrow.
There you go. There was a 7, a 6, a couple 5s on this hole, so it has some teeth. Not the way Oakley wanted to finish his round, though.
And look at that scorecard from Kale.
Clean. 11 under. What a round. The guy's a legend as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. One of my favorite players coming into the game, that's for sure. We got an 11, a 9, an 8, and a 7. Not bad scores at all. At Fountain, definitely once you get to the 9-10, you're going to be content with your round. But let's see how they stack up.
Yeah, Calvin Heinberg, top of the leaderboard. 1 over Macbeth, who has 1 over Eagle, who has 2 over young Emerson Keith. So, looking for some moves to be made this 3rd round.
Yeah, so round 3 is going to be at Vista del Camino. We're changing it up just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching the coverage. Gatekeeper's doing an incredible job. Prodigy is bringing you your commentary from Kevin and Luke, and we really hope you guys join us for round 3. We will see you there.